Hey everyone, it's Beardo and it's comic book day. It is a small but mighty haul. No bad ones in this bunch. Everything I'm going to show you today I am going to recommend. So if you didn't pick up any of the titles I'm going to show you, go pick them up. So first of all, I have got Rocketeer Adventures 2, issue number 3. Victory Through Air Power, and really dig this cover by Darwin Cook. This is a series that I wasn't sure if I had missed an issue or what the deal was, because I think this issue shipped a little bit late, but it was a very pleasant surprise when I came to the comic book shop yesterday, because I was really only expecting to pick up like 1 or 2 books, and so seeing this here kind of made my day, which it always does. This is a great series. If you're not reading it already, or you haven't seen me talk about it already, basically this is an anthology series where we get little vignettes of Rocketeer in various adventures. Oftentimes it's sort of in the middle of an adventure. We'll get, you know, episode 8 of something, and we won't get episodes 1 through 7 or 9 through whatever. So they're always very brief, very to the point story arcs, and which is a big part of what makes this series fun, because in a lot of ways that's sort of how the Rocketeer has always existed, because he has had such a sort of sordid publishing history. So in this particular issue we get 3 stories. First of all, we get Coulda Been by David Lapham and Chris Sprouse, which was a fairly entertaining story. Basically it's sort of a character-driven piece about Cliff and Betty and sort of their future together, and them sort of trying to figure out where they're at as a couple, and then kind of both realizing that maybe they're not quite where they think they're at, but at the same time they're in sort of a very romantic place, and it's a cute little story. Next up, we have Butchie Saves Betty, which was my favorite out of the bunch. Story, art, and letters by Kyle Baker, and I gotta show you a little bit of this one, because the thing that just made this story killer, in addition to the art, was sort of the sound effects that accompany the art and sort of lead you through the panels. It has a really great sort of snappy cadence to it, so I'm going to read you just a little bit. This is Betty here. She's storming into the diner looking for Cliff. Warm breezes push cotton wisps across a blue sky. Top, 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 top. Slam! Ding-ding! Gulp! Burble. The smell of cooking grease mixed with cigarettes is cut sharply by perfume. Swish, 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 swish. A train whistles faintly. Tock, 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 tock. Pops! Tock, 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 tock. Click! Thump, thump. Boop! Awkward small chatter punctuating tense silence. Lavender soap, feminine scents. And it continues from there, and it's just got that great sort of snappiness to it. I really, really enjoyed this story. Great job, Kyle Baker. We also, in this story, we get to see some fun stuff with the dog that I'm not sure if it's owned by the owner of the restaurant or who the dog belongs to, but might be Peas, I'm not sure. But either way, we get kind of a fun moment with the dog, especially towards the end. That's Butchie in the title here. Alright, and then the final story is by Matt Wagner and art by Eric Canet, and it's called History Lesson. This is kind of a fun one because it's sort of like what sort of revisionist futurism, where, you know, we sort of see what the world would be like if the Rocketeer had really existed, and so we get to see some sort of familiar faces but in sort of a whole new light as children, and we get a twist on what sort of modern times would be like if the Rocketeer had existed. That was a fun story. It was kind of my least favorite out of all of them, but it was nevertheless, it was entertaining. And then finally we get a Rocketeer pinup as always. This one was by Eric Powell. Cool stuff. We got an SS monster in the background there. Always fun. Alright, anyway, so that was Rocketeer Adventures 2, issue number 3, and very, very enjoyable. I don't know if they needed to do like Rocketeer Adventures 2, if they had just done like maybe a 6-issue mini-series and had it all just be Rocketeer Adventures. But nevertheless, I'm still liking it, and I am very, very excited for the upcoming Mark Waid run on Rocketeer. He's going to be doing, I'm not sure if it's a mini-series or a one-shot, and I believe it's called Cargo of Doom. But nevertheless, love Mark Waid on Daredevil, and I think he's going to be a great fit for the Rocketeer. So all in all, great job, IDW, and your editorial team with the Rocketeer. I love it. Alright, penultimate book that I got this week. Yes, I only got 3 books. Was Animal Man, Annual #1. Now, before I start talking about Animal Man, I just want to talk a little bit about little bit about DC annuals, because I don't know about you guys, but I wish there was like a giant annual, like either under or over the Animal Man. Like instead of saying the New 52, it should say annual instead of this little like annual in the corner. I don't know. I just think that's kind of weak, but that may just be me. I'm just griping now. Anyway, on to the actual issue. Animal Man was a very fun read. I was not sure what I was going to feel about this. Basically, it's a previous incarnation of Animal Man and Swamp Thing that we're following, and their fight against the Rot, basically at the turn of the last century. And overall, I was just a little worried that it was going to be kind of fillery. This issue gives us a good sense that, you know, the Rot and the Green and the Red have been needing to strike a balance over time, and it is, you know, they've come into conflict before, and they will most likely come into conflict again. So it's a lot of backstory, and the reason why I was kind of worried about that is, like, we've already gotten a lot of backstory from the main titles, so I wasn't sure if this issue was really going to be necessary, or if it was just going to be kind of fillery. I will say that the backstory was told very, very well. It had very, very good artwork in it that really fit the title nicely. But the thing that really made this more than filler is we get some foreshadowing in this book that has to do with events to come with, dare I say the word, Rot World. And I am very, very excited for that. Rot World is finally going to happen. We're getting to it. It's going to be issue 12, I believe, is when that starts. So I'm really excited for that, and the foreshadowing in this book was absolutely killer. Definitely made it worth the price of admission. So if you didn't pick up Animal Man because you weren't sure if it was going to be worth it, give it a shot. It's actually quite entertaining. However, best book of the week, by far this week, was Batman Annual #1. And the reason this book gets it is we get to see Scott Snyder go to town on some classic stories. And what I mean by that is, I mean, we've had Scott Snyder on Night of the Owls, you know, and on the Court of Owls stuff, and it's all new Scott Snyder territory. And it's been really fun to see him introduce all this great new stuff into the DCU that you know is just going to be around for years and years after this. But the reason why this issue is cool is because we get to see him in the classic universe, and we get to see his take on classic villains, and it makes me really excited to see, you know, what's going to happen after the Court of Owls stuff all wraps up, and what Scott Snyder's going to have in store for us with some of the more, you know, tried and true villains of the DCU. So in this one, we get Mr. Freeze, and it's a great, great story for Mr. Freeze. If you enjoy Batman the Animated Series and sort of the Heart of Ice storyline that really kicked off, you know, Mr. Freeze as we know him today, this is an absolutely essential read for you. He takes the classic idea of Mr. Freeze and trying to get his, you know, get his wife back to life, and her being cryogenically frozen, and, you know, he has a heart of ice and all of that kind of stuff. It takes all those ideas and gives us a great twist at the end that you will not see coming. Really, really great, new, fresh interpretation of Mr. Freeze that is sort of completely different while still adhering to the traditional ideas that we have about him. So, great job, Scott Snyder, on that. There's a lot of stuff I could spoil in this book that was a lot of fun, and I won't spoil any of it, but I will say I love the crayon, I love the slurp, and then I love all of the great story twists around Bruce Wayne, Mr. Freeze, and Nora Freeze. So, anyway, if you didn't pick this up, go pick it up. This really, if you only pick up one of the books that I picked up this week, this has got to be it. Anyway, so that's everything I got this week. Real small week, really short video. I apologize if you want to hear me ramble even more. Go back and check out some of the videos I've been putting up recently. I just put up a Before Watchmen sort of discussion, which has caused some controversy. So if you want to know what that's all about, check that out and leave me comments below on that. Leave me comments below on this. Let me know what you thought. As always, I am open to whatever your opinion is. Just tell me what it is. It's all good. So I do want to make a quick announcement regarding next week's Wednesday haul. I may not have a video up right away. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it to the comic book shop on Wednesday. It may not be until like maybe Friday or later, so there is a chance that I won't have a video up right away, but rest assured it will be up, if nothing else, over the weekend. In the meantime, I will have plenty of videos for you. I will most likely have one up over this weekend, and who knows, I might do one early next week too. I've been doing a lot of videos lately, so no reason to stop now. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and as usual, subscribe, comment, thumb up, and so on and so forth. Talk to you soon. Bye.